And it says we're live.
Yeah, it lies. I had it lowered a bit because I had a very short person on here earlier. I might need to change it.
Yeah, we got a full house today. Welcome,
No
everybody.
kidding.
We're back to the dog and pony show. I just haven't figured out who's the dog and who's the pony.
Hell no. Hell no.
And yeah, it's that kind of day. Oh, where to start?
Richard, we did not eat the ramen over the weekend because no. Thursday was a hell of a show.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Sorry I missed it, but I was otherwise occupied.
No, I think Rita needs to be on here a little more often. People were just I think there were several damaged sinuses by the time she was done.
Yeah, that's very possible.
It's Rita. Oh. Hello, David.
I did have a good, fairly good week in Florida. Got to see some old friends. Got to catch up with what's going on in my old community in the Maritime Patrol and see some interesting new technologies that are coming out. Yeah. Sounds like Thursday was interesting.
I just got notified that we're live.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's only a minute late. Wow.
RK, what are you not telling us?
Koala, it's recorded on the North Texas Troublemaker page. You can watch it anytime you want to.
Yeah. Hey, Bill.
Hola, Bill.
I guess I'm going to start with the yes. No, they usually hang out on the roof. Did something die under your deck?
Ooh. I hate to tell you all this, but turkey vultures hanging out on your roof is not generally a good sign.
Oh, Gorilla Fritz classes went up on the website.
Yeah, Ella Fritz is teaching up there. I gotta miss it.
Hey, Nancy.
Hola, Nancy.
Oh, damn! I'm doing good.
Bill, I linked you on a post on Monster Hunter on Facebook. I pinged you on that. There's somebody, I forget who, because squirrels, was asking for gun advice, and I pinged you on it. It's on the Monster Hunter page.
Solar panels would tend to do that. Anyway, what I was going to talk about was on the way here, Ziden was on giving his update on Buffalo, etc. And it was all white supremacy, white supremacy, white supremacy. However, the shootings that he noted did not include Milwaukee.
Oh, hell no.
It did not include the church shooting in LA. It did not include the shooting in Houston at the flea market.
Which doesn't fit the narrative?
Does not fit the narrative. Yeah, Mr. Former Vice President.
Well, if you listen to him, he's still a vice president. He keeps calling Harris the president.
Yeah.
Moron.
And even more interesting, he was talking about gun control.
Of course.
And taking assault rifles off and how that had worked before.
No, it didn't.
It didn't.
No, but he's got tapioca for brains. Yeah. It doesn't matter. It's
exactly, Rick. Didn't match the narrative, so it cannot exist.
He's literally the man's got vascular dementia or dementia of some kind, Alzheimer's. I don't care.
Yeah.
He's got a neurological deficit caused by age.
Yeah.
And the only thing between his ears and behind his eyes is tapioca. And and if I believed in Jewish golems, a strip of paper with words on it.
Yeah. Well, that actually brings up an interesting point. Musk said in a tweet something to the effect of, "He who controls the screen, the teleprompter, is controlling Biden." And the question is, who is that person or persons?
It's his advisors.
Yeah, but who are they? That's the question. Is it really Obama behind Jarrett, behind what's his face?
I don't know. And right now we're holding ground, which is nice.
Yeah.
And even the most optimistic Democrat poll I've seen so far shows them losing the Senate by 2 votes. That's the most optimistic one. So we hang on November. We're all right.
Yeah, Rand, that the return to the White House was an interesting one. And you notice how that's dropped completely out of the media. The other thing about Buffalo, which I noted this morning, was that Benjamin Crump
Oh, God.
has shown up there and is now in bed with the family of the 84-year-old lady that was killed. When Crump shows up, he is all about money. It's not about anything else.
He's a race baiter.
He is. So my question is, who's he going to sue?
Oh, he'll find so. Yeah. Whoever made the rifle, that seems to be a new thing. Suing the company that made the rifle.
Well, it's a Bushmaster.
Seriously, another one?
Yeah.
Oh God, Bushmaster's going to go pause
An
up.
early Bushmaster.
Bushmaster's going to pause up over this.
Yeah. But the question is, realistically, who's he going to sue? Where is he going to get money from? Because he doesn't give a rat's ass about the people.
No, hell no.
I mean, he made how much money off of the Floyd family? 30 or 40%?
That he'll admit to.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, Koala, that's true. Biden was looking at the wall while Obama was being fawned over by the sycophants.
That's because he's a houseplant.
Yeah, Josh Bushmaster got bought, but I don't remember who bought him.
They were part of Remington. Remington bought them. They were part of Remington there for a while. And then when Remington was broken up, I don't know where they...
the company that owned Remington bought them, and I can't remember what that company's name was.
Cerebus?
Yeah.
Cerebus. And Cerebus doesn't just made some really crap decisions. I don't know that exist anymore.
Vista Outdoors.
Vista Outdoors is the new owner of Remington. Rim Arms and Remington Ammo.
Yeah. Yeah, they, Cerebus did much the same thing that the owners at Colt did.
Oh yeah.
Basically stripped the company, took all the money.
They treated it as a cash cow.
Yeah. Yeah, good point, Joel. It's of course, if he really was a
apparently Biden is incapable of speech if you listen to his last couple.
Well, neither is Harris.
Oh God. The giggle monster.
Yeah. Yeah, you're exactly right, Josh. Strip mine the company and then stick the corpse with the debt. That's what they did.
They're good at that.
The other one that caught my attention was Yellen yesterday in front of Congress, in front of the House, Senate, talking about monetary impacts.
Oh, God, here we go.
Oh, yeah. And she strayed into abortion territory.
It's not her business.
Not her business, but she did that. And she basically said, so now we have a government official saying that if Roe versus Wade is overturned, that is going to impact women who can't get jobs.
What?
Specifically black women who can't get jobs because they can't have an abortion. And Tim Scott from South Carolina jumped all over that.
Good. Somebody needs to.
And basically, she kept trying to backpedal. She backpedaled almost as many times as what's Raggedy Ann's replacement.
Hell if I know. I can't keep them straight.
Yeah, as many times as she backpedaled yesterday.
She if
and
anything,
never answered a question.
She's if anything, she's worse at it than Raggedy Ann was.
Yeah. Yeah.
In more cheerful news,
Yeah.
those who met Kelly Grayson at TollCon, maybe please learn that we may be able to get him to LibertyCon. So if you interacted with Kelly Grayson at TollCon, we might have him at LibertyCon. We're working on it. Let's see.
Yeah.
Other news.
Yeah, Koala, that's a good point. Planned Parenthood is actually eugenics.
Oh yeah.
Always has been.
Kelly's first anthology. Oh, that's good. Kelly's first Perspectives anthology is out. He's doing two because apparently doing anthologies in series is a thing now. So Kelly's first one's got launched today, I think.
Yep.
Hang on a second.
I think it was today.
I have the access to the sum total human knowledge in the palm of my hand.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Yeah, backpedaling faster than withdrawing Russians.
Poor Russians.
Yeah. Yeah, David, you're right. Sanger was very clear in her beliefs. However, people tend to shove that under the rug, so to speak.
Yep, he went live apparently. Yesterday.
All right, Sarah, another
Pub on the 15th.
another Malta submission.
What?
Sarah's got another one ready to go.
Okay. So does Kelly, apparently. So that's Kelly's first anthology, and there'll be a second one. Apparently, I'm supposed to have a story in that, and people keep nudging me about. I owe stories to so many places. It's just
Yes.
exactly.
Yes. We're waiting.
I know everybody's waiting. Janet Spalding. For those of you who don't know, Janet Spalding's she's a really great person. I love Janet to death. She's a professor out on the East Coast somewhere, English professor, and used to have a small publishing house way back before small publishing houses were a thing. And she's Kelly's editor. And I keep getting these gifts over Messenger and threats. The last one involved cattle prods.
And she would use a cattle prod on
No
you
kidding.
without a problem.
No kidding.
Yes, there have been.
If I could get some Maltese submitting Maltese anthologies, Maltese stories, that would be great. Speaking of, John is on the way back from Mordor. So I'm guessing next week we're doing the consular run.
Yeah, and also we'll be changing this.
Yeah. So we'll be going down to the Maltese consulate in Dallas to present a copy there. And I need to get Courtney. I need to find out who's got the Ghost of Malta books, because I need to send one to the National Library of Malta. They gave me an address.
Now we haven't visited yet, Rand.
Nope.
That's next week.
Yeah. We were going to go get it over with, but Jonna decreed that we would not go without her. So
she has mentioned something about nailing Ian's boots to the floor so he doesn't bounce off the ceiling. We will see whether or not we can.
What's that?
Video it.
I don't know that Maltese are kind of laid back. They may allow video in the consulate, but I know some countries get really twitchy about video inside a consulate.
Yes.
Don't know. I've got to contact and set up a meeting. So, David, you want to do signature cards for the Malta anthology? Probably. Get with me at LibertyCon. We'll figure something out.
Yeah, we can just mail them around. We've done that before.
Yes, we have.
Only a few of us are banned from travel, Koala.
Yeah. Actually, Richard draft me. Actually, that's a sticky point that was brought up more than once during my military career and subsequent years. Maltese law. If you were born on the island between 1964 and I forget when, sometime in the 80s, I think. Don't quote me on that. The time period I was born there, you were automatically a Maltese citizen, and that State Department raised some red flags about that with me on, as far as I was concerned. It was pointed out that if I were to walk into a Maltese consulate, I would automatically be a Maltese citizen. They couldn't touch me.
That could come in handy.
I have mentioned this before.
Oh, on the writing front, we were talking earlier. My neighbor, whose family has been here for years, loaned me 4 books about North Texas history.
Sweet Courtney's on here.
Huh?
Sweet Courtney's on here.
Yeah. And so I was kind of flipping through them, opened up one, and there was a newspaper article from the 1980s about following Cynthia Ann Parker's trail in this area. And she was actually recaptured, rescued, whatever you want to call it, up in this area. As a matter of fact, between here and Vernon, just north of the river.
Oh, my security clearance. Somebody started drinking early on that one.
Yeah. So those will, they are on loan until I finish reading them, and then I got to give them back. Which, considering the size of my friggin' reference library now.
Courtney, I have news. Kelly got bit by the writing bug. And there's a throwaway sentence in his first Malta story about a previous host being at the siege of Fort San Elmo. And apparently his muse got him by the ear and has decreed he will write that story. So he's writing another Malta anthology submission. A friend of mine named Joe Spear, another friend named Jesse Gaunt are putting one together, as is Jim Totten. And 2 folks I have no idea who the hell are, but apparently know you and sent me questions about the Malta anthology. Apparently they're under the impression that the deadline was already due and were asking if they could have an extension. Like, wow.
Yeah, Quanah Parker info in Copper Beach. Quanah Parker actually rode his horse up the stairs in our local library here in town.
Back before it was a library.
Back before it was a library, because he was friends with Burnett's.
Yep.
Who were the big ranchers here.
Ranchers and oilmen.
Yeah.
Apparently Lord Humongous doesn't write. Lord Humongous is too busy cooking.
Yeah.
In a leather thong.
Yeah.
And a colander.
Which is an improvement.
Yes, it is. However, have you tried some of those recipes?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that boy can cook.
Yes, he can. And RK, bless her heart, is helping out with the editing on the stories for the Haunted Library Anthology, which is coming along nicely. And we will.
Hey, James. Did you give Larry and Bridget hugs for me?
40 clove chicken. Yeah, that's
it was good
stuff.
Yeah. Tom's a hell of a cook.
Yeah.
He is a hell of a cook.
Yes, you do.
Korean Army base stew. Is anything like U.S. Army base stew? Because that was, if I remember correctly, opening a can of Wolf Brand chili, a can of Hormel beef stew, mixing together and saying, "Shut up and eat."
RK, 40 cloves is plenty of garlic for 4 pieces of chicken. Trust me.
Man, boy can cook.
Yeah.
Holy crap, the boy can cook.
And he's an engineer, which is even more amazing.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah.
It's just one of these days I'm gonna get him and the Mad Scott, Gordon Ramsay
Yeah.
together. And wow, that may be the destruction of the known universe, but by
what
God,
would be interesting was him and Kent Rollins.
no, Kent won't. He'll stride in there in his leather thong, and Kent will walk out. He'll be done.
Add garlic into your
Ancestors
ancestors
say,
say
enough, child. Oh, child.
Yes.
Oh. Rita does a hell of a fried spam.
Yeah.
I had a lot of spam overseas, and Rita's spam with mayo is excellent on toast is excellent. I will eat the hell out of that. Otherwise, spam is like, it's what does the sound make? If you drop a pig off a building, what's the sound it makes when it hits the floor? Spam.
Yeah, they've actually had to open the plant and now make the second generation of spam. Because they finally sold all the stuff in the 1930s.
Sold last the first run.
Yeah.
Now,
ironically, in Hawaii,
those folks are mad for spam.
Yeah, but that was the first place I ever saw individual serving spam.
What fresh hell is this?
Single slice spam.
Oh, for God's sake!
Yeah, and multiple flavors.
Now the smoked spam is significant. That's what Rita. She takes the smoked. I can talk honest. She takes the smoked spam, cuts it thick, fries it, and puts it on toast with mayo. And holy God, that's good.
Yeah. Spam equivalent for lunch. Yeah.
Mad for spam. I don't know why.
Yeah, bacon flavored spam is a bit redundant.
Well, no, because spam definitely does not taste like bacon.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it tastes. It tastes like spam.
Yeah. No, Koala, they actually have had to reopen the plant and start making spam again. Candy corn, it's still the original produce.
Yeah.
Yeah, David, the Pacific Islanders have always been fans of spam because that was what they got in World War II. That was what kept a lot of them alive.
Around here, the jail staple is ramen soups, what they call it. It's in jail lingo, soup.
Yeah,
and as a cash substitute.
Yeah,
soups are it. They will, and the soups go for stupid expensive on jail commissary, like $1 a brick.
Yeah, they're worth about 15 cents.
Yeah, if that. And the inmates, that is their commerce is soups.
Oh yeah. God, I remember that one little turd we caught.
Which one?
Oh,
you have to narrow that down a bit.
Oh, the one that threatened you and I and Debbie and everybody else.
Again, you have to narrow it down. Narrow it down.
The one that tried to make his girlfriend commit the robbery.
Oh, what's his nuts? Zachary Trumbull.
Yeah, Trumbull. Yeah, when we caught him with 40 soups. Oh, they're all mine.
Yeah. He was on. You had just put him on loss of privileges, so he couldn't go to the commissary. Yeah. How the hell did you wind up with 40 soups, son?
Yeah.
I know exactly how I wound up with 40 soups.
Yeah. Yeah, that boy's doing hard time now. Finally,
and he's doing it at a. He somehow managed to. The last time I checked on his dumbass, he had managed to talk himself into a max unit down in I think Beeville.
Yeah, I don't think he'll ever walk out the door. His mouth's going to overload his
He's
ass.
A cockroach. He's a freaking cockroach. You can't kill him.
Yeah, RK, that works. Fried and bacon grease. Although I like to fry mine in sausage grease. Gives it a little bit more taste.
I tell you what I've discovered. There was a taste from my childhood I remembered but couldn't find. Turned out to be Zatarain's Cajun mustard.
Yeah.
Holy crap, that's good.
Yeah.
And I discovered it the other day. It's like, oh, this is a taste from my childhood. Zatarain's Cajun mustard.
Yep.
Holy crap, that's good. There was an inmate that James Anders and I both had to deal with on separate sides of the court. I had to deal with him pre-conviction. James had to deal with him post-conviction. And that man, I contacted James and said, "Hey, did you hear about inmate X?" And James was like, "That that's some what." Apparently, he had annoyed another inmate to the point that the other inmate had made a crossbow out of rolled up newspaper and had waited. This inmate was in solitary because he was a solitary hound.
Yeah.
He was a seg dog. This other inmate, also in solitary, waited until the first inmate was coming back from yard and shot him through the bean slot with a homemade crossbow. The first inmate annoyed him that badly. And it took a long time for that man to die.
Yep.
Like, he's dead. He's dead. He's dead.
Holy Trinity of East PA. Cheesesteaks, soft pretzels, and scrapple. Yeah. And
I love soft pretzels. I love cheesesteak, but scrapple I've never had.
The two cheesesteak places across the street from each other forever. Gino's, and I can't remember what the other one is. Rick, help me out. What's the other one up there? That have been there forever, and they each have their own set of fans.
Of course. Joe's,
yeah, that's it. Gino's and Joe's. And
Pat's or Pat's. Joe's, Pat's. I don't know who did it, but the inmate number one pissed off another inmate to the point the other inmate made a crossbow out of paper, newspaper, and shot inmate number one through the bean slot on the way back from the yard. And he made the crossbow bolt out of, I don't know what it was, but tipped it with a razor blade that he'd kept in the toilet for a while. And I contacted Anders and said, "Hey, remember this inmate Assweasel?" And James just started. James is a very nice guy. He doesn't cuss very often. He cussed. I said, "Check this newspaper obit." Woo! James was a happy man.
Yeah, MacGyver did it. Actually, yeah, Pat's and Gino's.
If you roll newspaper tight enough, and I don't know the details on this, I can tell you, and James can chime in. He'll know probably as much, if not more, about this sort of thing. Probably more than I will. They'll take thin garbage bin liners, the plastic terrible garbage bin liners, and they will weave them. And that's probably what the string was made from.
Yeah.
But they will sit there and they'll roll newspapers and they'll roll it and tighten it, roll it, and tighten it, roll it, and tighten it. I've been hit with a rolled up newspaper that an inmate had spent some time packing, and it was like getting hit with a steel rod.
Yep. The one of the things that I'd run across in the research that I'm doing for my Western was a thing on bow making and arrows. And the amount of different things that the Indians made bows out of.
Oh, yeah.
And the change from the long bow when they got the horses to the short
horseback bow.
But antlers, sinew, hide, wood, bone, layered. Everybody talks about composite bows now. They had composite bows in the 1860s.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Recurved horse bows, yeah. And these things were excellent. They were strong enough that
they took buffalo with them.
Yeah, they could shoot all the way through a buffalo. Now, for those of you that have not seen a buffalo, Imagine a 2,000-pound hairy cow, and that's a buffalo with a bad temper.
For those of you who don't know, James Anders, good friend of ours,
Yeah.
nice guy, salt of the earth. If we get him to another Fool's Con, just hand him something, adult beverage, and sit back and listen to him talk. He did a lot of time as a boss at various prison systems, and he's a very interesting guy to talk to. You really should talk to him.
Yep. Also a damn good shot.
Yeah, he is.
And he got to go have fun with Larry.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
I'm so jealous. We need to put James and Bill together.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, James needs, and we need to get James out to Mead Hall.
Yeah. Hell, we need to get to Mead Hall.
No kidding. They're having Lone Star Medics is up there giving a first or a individual first aid course, and I'm just screaming.
Yeah, buffalo go from 0 to 60 at about its own length and jump a 6-foot-high fence.
Yeah,
That's if they don't bother to just walk through the friggin' fence.
There was a one of the small ranches at Bug Scuffle had a friggin' buffalo, and I hated that damn buffalo. It was a pet, and that friggin' buffalo would walk up to a 6-strand pig-type barbed wire fence, put his chest on a post, look around, sniff a couple times, and start walking and tear down a section of. It's like you mother.
And when he's talking a section, that's more than one post. That's probably 3 or 4 posts. Probably
just twing, 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 and then everything. It's like you son of
100 yards, give or take. Yeah, I know, Bill. We keep saying we're going to get there. We
need to get James Anders up there because I want to get James and Bill in the same room and let them talk training.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to film some training videos for them too.
Oh, we do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's buffalo good. Go where they want. Yeah, Josh. People.
I just got a message. I just got messenger from Anders.
Yeah, keeping the photo idiots away. People don't realize, and I don't know whether this is the fault of the African safaris,
Disney,
or Disney. Well, I'm not sure it's all on Disney, but the number of people that think they can walk up to a wild animal and get a picture with it and pet it and not get a reaction are flipping stupid.
Well, okay. Wichita Mountains Wildlife Refuge we need to go to has a fairly significant buffalo herd up there. And it is an open, you drive through and there's buffalo doing buffalo things. The number of times I've been driving along there heading to a campground or something and looking over and seeing some guy posing by a buffalo.
Yeah.
While his wife takes a picture and he's leaning on a buffalo. It's just, wow, why aren't you dead?
Yeah.
Well, I was talking to Kelly last night, matter of fact, and he was saying that LibertyCon is at the same time as the zebra camel races. I said, stay away from zebras. They're in black and white jumpsuits for a reason.
Yeah.
I call them homicide donkeys. He started laughing.
That's true.
Yeah. Zebras are bastards.
Yeah.
They're sons of bitches. They're in a prison jumpsuit for a reason.
Oh, yeah. I remember hearing about that, John. I always thought that was a joke. People putting honey on the kids' faces to have the bears lick it off.
You don't like that kid? You got a problem with that kid?
Yeah.
There's easier ways to kill a kid.
Yeah. Yeah, breakfast cereals and cartoons. You're right.
Yeah, Disney. Disney is responsible for at least one hippo death. One hippo death after that idiot, the ballerina hippos in what the hell?
Fantasia.
The ballerina hippos. Yeah. because ballerinas aren't dangerous. Says anybody that's ever dated one knows that's a fucking lie.
Oh, damn,
Um,
John.
what?
His brother saw people putting honey on a kid's face. Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh.
Well, I was Matt Hambright and I we looked over. We're driving down the center road at Wichita Mountains Wildlife Refuge, and look over, and there's a guy. This is in the middle of the rut, and there's a guy like 6 feet from a bull buffalo, the alpha buffalo, with his phone doing hey, look at me, click, click, and the buffalo's going, what the hell is this? It's like, oh, we're about to see a murder.
Yeah. Evolution in action. Obviously, it's not working well enough, Rick. Yeah, cows
it gets the
people.
wrong ones.
Yeah, cows do kill more people than lions. That's domestic cattle do that.
Dolphins kill more people than sharks.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks dolphins are cute. They're not. They're perverted little. They're.
Yeah. Yeah, there's one.
They're trans species rapists, and they're just not dolphins. Ugh.
Yeah, there is one at San Diego.
Yeah.
That the Navy has tried to give away and can't.
All right, James, Seal, you and Bill at Mead Hall Range need to get together on training stuff. All right, y'all hook up.
Yeah, buffalo breath. Yeah.
Link up. Y'all link up.
Yeah. Yeah, they play with pufferfish to get high. That's another one that, that stuff costs $1,000 a slice in Japan
because they're stupid
for sushi.
They're stupid
because there are only a very few sushi chefs that are allowed to even touch pufferfish, much less cut it.
Because you die really quick.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want straight dope on dolphin, it just has manatee. Yeah.
Ask Wendell. He's yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good point. What do you expect from people who think meat comes from a grocery store?
Yeah. If you slice a pufferfish just right, it will feed you for the rest of your life.
Yeah. All 5 minutes of it. Yeah.
I do if they're in English. Cedar asked, does anybody read warning labels? I do if they're in English because that's just funny.
Yeah. Puppy kibbles instead of their usual diet.
Well, that's how they don't manufacture tetradox. So
yeah.
It's much like, well, I think cone snails manufacture. Cone snails are bastards, by the way.
Yeah.
They manufacture their own, but pufferfish have to collect it from somewhere else.
Yeah, safe to eat pufferfish. I'm still no.
There is no. I'm just no. Rita, my little honey, introduced me to sushi, and I trust her. And she points out the good sushi, and there's been some really good sushi we've had. The minute somebody says anything about fugu, we're leaving the restaurant.
Yeah, Cedar, that's an excellent point. Those that do need the warning don't or can't read the labels. And it's getting worse because the level of level of reading skills, math skills is going down, not up.
No kidding.
The illiteracy rate in high school is probably 30%.
Well, the 15-second attention span that social media has gifted us with is not helping things.
Yeah.
I was talking to a friend that's been off of Facebook for a while, and he said that he was real active on Facebook for a long time and realized that he couldn't finish a book. He used to be a voracious reader, and then he got to where he could read maybe a chapter and got off of Facebook. He said it was a year of no social media before he get back to his normal reading patterns, which is kind of scary.
Yeah. Yeah, freshwater eels, another one. Yeah. When you graduate, yeah, 77% of the people, and that's high depending on where you are, because a lot of the graduation rates do not take into account inner city.
Would you?
And well, it's here again, it's playing, figures lie and liars figure. Statistics, you play the game, and depending on what you include or exclude, you can make those damn curves of graphs look like anything you want to.
I got eel one time. It was eel and mint sauce in England. Not a big fan. I'm relatively sure that eel can be made right, but
Yeah.
eel and mint sauce out of England, not my favorite dish.
Yeah. Yeah. High school diploma is nothing more than a certificate of acceptable attendance.
These days, yeah. Well, in '85 when I graduated, that's dating myself a bit.
Oh, Josh, if it's rural New Mexico, 77%, you're probably above the fleet average.
I noted, as I hate to say it, I'm smarter than the average bear. And I noticed in '85 when I graduated, the valedictorian and salutatorian were awarded for the best able to recite rote memory.
Yeah.
It wasn't thinking; it was reciting from stuff already memorized. You didn't have to critically think; you just had to recite what was fed to you.
Yeah, Koala, that was about as good as Hawaii back in the 70s and 80s. Yeah, Rogue. I can remember in the 70s high school graduates that were completely illiterate. They couldn't read, they couldn't do math. About the only thing they could do was work in the cane fields. And, they would kill that we were hearing about 15 or 20 a summer in the cane fields because these kids didn't know enough to get out of their own way.
Oh, rattlesnake's good.
Yeah.
Rattlesnake's good. Water mouse isn't bad. I prefer rattlesnake. I hate to say it, it tastes a lot like chicken.
Yeah. It's just long and skinny.
Went to the Sweetwater Rattlesnake Roundup. Is that still a thing?
Yeah.
Went to the Sweetwater Rattlesnake Roundup with Chris and got to try fried snake. And honestly, the fried snake with the hatch was better.
Yeah.
There, Chris we've got a square mile of desert out in West Texas. And a long time ago, Chris saw I think it was New Yorker. And he sent me his picture of this rolled up, looked like a coil of sausage. And $89.99 a pound.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be rattlesnake. In New York, they were selling rattlesnake because it was gourmet for $89.99 $89.99 a pound. And this would be 14, 15 years ago. And he wanted to know how many cinder blocks we could take out to West Texas. Because you put a cinder block out in the desert, and come back about 3 a.m, and you'll find at least one snake on every cinder block because they're warm.
Measuring snakes in feet is just rude. David, my cousins have a ongoing, I'm trying to think of the best way to state this. For years have had a contest of who has gotten the biggest rattlesnake in the backyard. And the record gets skinned and put up on the wall. And the last time I was down there, it was still the husband who had gotten a 5'5" rattlesnake out of the backyard, which beat the wife's 5'3" rattlesnake out of the backyard. The problem was that the room that I was sleeping in was where they had hung all the rattles.
Oh, that ain't right.
And
that ain't right.
About 3 o'clock in the morning, the air conditioner kicked on. Yeah. I came straight up out of bed, was out the door, down the hall, and went, wait a friggin' minute.
I've heard python isn't that good. Only snakes I've ever eaten have been carnivores. I've heard python. Well, pythons are all snakes are carnivores. What
Yeah.
the hell am I thinking? Have been poisonous. Rattlesnake and water moccasin. I haven't eaten non-poisonous snake. I would think that the bigger they are, much like hogs, probably not that good eating.
Yeah,
The
they're
bigger they get.
tougher.
However, I understand that iguana is delicious.
Yeah. I mean, iguana was not that fond of it.
Venomous. Yes, Cedar. Thank you. Venomous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chicken of the trees. Apparently, you can wait for the first freeze and go pick them off the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. They actually put warning out in Florida. Beware of the iguanas falling out of trees. That is true. Because they lock up and just tick.
I have a mental image of some guy with one of those reach extenders, grabber
Yeah.
things, and a sack, whistling and picking up iguanas
Yeah.
to go.
Yeah, Rick. Cicadas, yeah, they do sound like a rattler.
No, they sound like hell.
Yeah. Interestingly, a lot of the rattlesnakes, at least in this part of the country now, no longer rattle
They're getting there.
because of the hogs.
Yep.
Because the hogs will hear the rattle and go, ooh, lunch.
Chow.
Yeah.
So the ones that don't rattle or don't have rattles survive.
Yeah.
And that's called natural selection.
Yeah.
Damn hogs.
Yeah, Jesse. Miggy is a character. We really need to get him on here one of these days.
Oh, God.
Somehow or the other.
Holy crap. Biggie, holy crap. Maggie's filter went somewhere south a long time ago.
Oh God, no, not doing balut, not doing 100-year eggs. Oh hell no.
No. Hell no. Cicadas sound like the third level of hell.
Yeah.
Especially when you get a bad summer and they scream all night long.
Yeah. Yeah, Dan, you and I have both been in that part of the country and seen and maybe have partaken of a balut once.
I don't do the
if you were
Pacific
drunk
Rim.
enough.
I don't do the Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
I don't. Pacific Rim is not my thing.
Yeah. Yeah, Koala, that's, and again, I'm dating myself when I say this, but back when I was going through school in the 60s, you could take shop class. You could learn welding. You could learn automotive. We had 4-H, which was actually a class. And
Ag class.
Huh?
Ag class.
Ag.
Where you learn how to weld.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had wood shop. I had metal shop.
Yeah.
In
Wood
high
shop
school.
was another one.
And the girls all took home economics. I wanted to, and they wouldn't let me.
Yeah.
Because it was full of girls.
TMC, yes. Rattlesnakes do go direct to the hindbrain reaction.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, home ec is another one that they no longer teach.
They were teaching it. They had it in 85. And
Yeah.
I wanted to go to home ec because that's where all the girls were. And they wouldn't let me do it.
Yeah.
So I had to go to typing because, again, it's where all the girls were.
Yeah. And Josh, Jesse, that's a good point. Nobody said Votech stuff was people too stupid for college.
No.
Those were the people that needed to have those skills to go back to their family farms or back to their ranches. And we had you could take vocational ed or Votech and take advanced classes at the same time. Now, senior year, depending on what you were doing, you could also take classes in the morning if you had enough credit hours, and then work the afternoon at a job and get credit for that through the Voc Ed program.
Yeah, the home ec and shop were in the same time period. So the boys all went to shop. This is back when we were so terribly patriarchal. Boys all went to shop, girls all went to home ec.
Yeah. Well, and home ec was where, from what I was told, a lot of the girls learned the bits and pieces of home economics, managing a checkbook, food, things like that that they didn't
Well,
necessarily
yeah.
get taught at home.
Yeah, home ec, they taught them how to write checks and balance a checkbook.
Yeah.
Which apparently, from the amount of bitching I see on Facebook these days, they don't do anymore. But home ec was where you learn how to balance checkbook.
Yeah.
Balance your accounts, run a house, that's a fairly, I hate to tell you this, running a household is a fairly extensive and endeavor requiring a wide-ranging skill set.
Yes.
They learn how to cook. They learn how to sew. They learn how to balance a checkbook. They learn how to do a budget and finance. It's like home ec was not a wussy class.
I not all parents were real good about that.
In the 80s, both parents were working.
Yeah. I remember, and this was in the 70s, we had a young kid check into the squadron in Jacksonville. He was 20 years old. His wife was 18, and they had a 6-month-old baby.
Wow.
And he had used enough money to buy gas to get to the base and buy some formula for the kid, and didn't have any more money. And we took up a collection in the duty office to get him at least a couple of nights in the Navy Lodge so they could, and enough money to eat. And about 3 months later, the kid got called in for counseling because his wife was spending more money than they were making. So because he was going through our rating, we got involved in it. Come to find out, his wife thought as long as they had checks, they had money.
Yeah, that used to be a common thing.
And that was when we found out that she had never been taught how to manage anything.
Hmm.
He didn't know how to do it.
Yep, because they're kids.
Yeah, they were literally kids, and ended up working out a deal. And thank God she had spent the money at the Navy Exchange, or wrote the checks at the Navy Exchange. And we were able to work out a deal with the exchange where they got paid back. So it didn't, he did not end up getting charged. She did not end up getting charged. But, that's scary as hell.
In the 80s, rural schools, I don't know about city schools because I didn't go to one. Rural schools, they pretty much expected that the husband would go out and would be working sun up, sundown, and the wife would be handling all the finances. Which seems like a perfectly cromulent idea to me. Seems like equitable partnership to me.
Yeah. Yeah, Joel, you're right. They didn't know there was a skill set to be learned. Yeah. It's amazing how many women run the household and pay the bills. And
which seems like, it's the South. That seems like a pretty good idea to me.
Yeah.
South and the West. The man's out tilling fields or punching cows or turning wrenches from sun up to sundown, comes home exhausted. Don't want to do the books.
Yeah.
Wife's at home. She's taking care of the kids and doing the books. Makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, I got nailed for doing that in the Gray Man series. Well, there's no way that girl would be doing the books for the ranch.
Why not?
Excuse me?
Why the hell not? I can tell you several dozen farm wives that grew up doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Ranch wives.
Yeah, I agree, Koala, that an entire semester of math dedicated to taxes and banking. Because, trust me, the number of people that I saw in the military that had no clue about taxes, banking, or anything else. And, they had, a kid or two or three, and they lived paycheck to paycheck. And when hubby got promoted, they still lived paycheck to paycheck. Regardless how many times, it was always paycheck to paycheck. And you want to take these people, if you knew them, and just shake them and go, why are you not saving any money? Oh, yeah. Bill, that's the other one. loans and credit cards,
Ooh,
military, every base has around it
that one car lot
the one car lot and the
that
one
should
loan shark.
that should be off the on the do not attend, do not ever step within 50 yards of list.
Yep. Yeah, or I need the newest iPhone. Yeah, Dan, if the good managers, the good division officers, the good COs did that. But there are a lot of them that don't. And it's gotten worse instead of better.
First time a young private came to me and, hey, Sarge, I got an issue. What's that issue? Well, I bought this car. First thing out of my mouth, what's the interest rate? 28%. What? Yeah, 28% interest.
Yeah.
With a balloon payment.
Oh, yeah. So they were paying interest for the first 2 years, and then the balloon hit and they were going to take the car back.
Yep.
And it was timed so that they got it before the kid transferred.
Yep.
Yep.
They knew exactly how long you were generally assigned to a base. And
Yeah.
And thank God somebody, I forget when, somebody finally passed a law that clamping down on those idiots.
Yeah. Yeah. The one thing that you still see on base, because I went by and checked, is what's jokingly called a lemon lot.
Yep.
And those are cars that are for sale.
The clunker lot.
Yeah. Lemon lot, clunker lot. And those are cars for sale from people that are transferring out.
Mm-hmm.
And you can actually get some good deals. Jacksonville also has a lemon lot for cars, boats, and RVs. Because people will come in and they're there for 3-4 years. They'll, get a trailer, get an RV, they'll get a boat, and they transfer overseas. And it's like, oh shit, now what? But where you really see a lot of them is over in Japan. And that's because of JCI and some other things. The Japanese insurance is pretty strict. The cars have to be inspected on a regular basis. And I know back in the day, which I kind of miss, was we used to have crew cars. So you could buy a car for $50, drive it for 6 months, sell it for 45 or 50 to the next bunch that was coming in.
Yep.
But a lot of the squadron COs, as the leadership changed, became less and less enamored of that. And I guess 10 or 12 years ago, it came down that you could no longer have a crew car.
Why not?
Because it was considered unsafe.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
What about the job of being in the military is considered safe?
I don't know. Buy used 3 years later, sell to the new transfers. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a common thing. I know at Fort Hood, a common thing is you'd buy a K car, Chrysler K car.
Yeah.
Little 4-door POS K car, the 4-banger, little K car, and drive it for the 2 years, then transferring out, somebody transferring in, you sell it to them for whatever they had.
Yeah. Well, I did screw up badly on one car. I bought over in Italy in the 80s. And it was a off the lemon lot. And it was a little Fiat, 2-door Fiat. And I drove the hell out of it the entire time I was there. And it was a sporty little thing.
Fiat.
And it was an Abarth. I didn't know what I had.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
Came back to the States, was talking to a couple of guys. They went, you had a 70s Abarth? I said, yeah. How much did you pay for it? $50. You dumb son of a bitch.
You had at least 2 zeros of that, Bubba.
3.
I say at least 2 zeros of that.
Went back over there, tried to buy the car, and a son of a bitch had wrecked it.
Of course he had.
I still regret it. That little old car was worth between 12 and 20,000 in the shape it was in. Yeah. Yeah, the lenders can always get the allotment imposed on their money. Rick, you and I both, and anybody that was in the military, have run across that one. And the problem was the 27 to 35%. Back in the 70s, when mortgage rates were 15, 16%, it was not unusual to see the sleazy car dealers around base with 35, 40% interest.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That was ridiculous.
Yeah. And, nowadays,
Is that a Courtney box? That looks like a Courtney box.
it may be.
Ooh, okay.
I see books in it.
Yeah. I just now noticed that there's books in that box.
Well, she said there were books in the box.
Yeah, but have you counted the number of boxes around here?
Yeah, there are one or two. The accent just came out.
Seriously.
And we wasted another hour of your time, folks.
I managed to get an hour before it popped out.
Well, it popped out earlier, but we're not going to talk about that.
Seriously.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thursday, I'm only going to be on here for a little while because I've got to go see Dr. So I'm going to have to burn off out of here pretty early. So it'll be Jim, and if I can sucker Rita into taking my place, it'll be Jim and Rita.
Yeah. Or we'll find somebody. Only 14 boxes, Rick? You're a piker. I did 39.
Oh, God. Every bit of it, too.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Y'all be safe, okay?
Remember, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff. We'll see you on Thursday.
Thursday.
Bye.